for the Mounties of Montclair, Darrell Giles and Mike Ewing are the forwards. The center is Curtis Richwood. And in the backcourt, Robbie Osborne and Dwayne Jones. Montclair coached by Bob Lester in his third season. And of course, Bob Lester, the coach of those East Orange championship teams in the early or mid-70s in the Essex County tournament. Officials for today's ball game, Rich Sanfilippo and Emil Clark. So the crowd a little bit late in arriving at Walsh Auditorium, and over the years attendance has not been what it used to be, and I used to remember coming to Walsh and seeing some great ball games when I was younger and seeing this place packed to the rafters. Perhaps things have changed in terms of attendance in high school basketball, in terms of the interest that county tournaments have today because of the state tournament interest and so on.
I think that might have something to do with it, Bruce. I think in recent years, last 10 or so, the state tournament has really come into its own. You could almost have an analogy between the NIT and the NCAA. The state tournament now seems to be the big attraction, but still in all, the ECT is and the Union County tournament, they're the granddaddies of them all, and it's always a prestigious event and a prestigious thing to win this tournament. And there'll be a lot of noise here. It's a late-coming crowd, and I know these kids will remember this for a long time.
Well, Shabazz reached the final as the 6th seed. They came up with a couple of big upsets. First of all, Shabazz was victorious over Irvington 57-54, not in upset. Then they defeated Vailsburg 65-60 in upset, and Glen Ridge 58-55. Big ball game in the semifinal, so the Bulldogs have made it to the finals. Meanwhile, the Mounties of Montclair have reached the final as the number 1 seed. Therefore, every one of their victories was considered a game that they were supposed to win, so to speak. Caldwell a romp, East Orange a 11-point win, and Westside a 15-point crushing. And you can see that Montclair has breezed into the final.
Well, I only saw them once, Bruce, and that was over at Union one night. Matty Lachlan and I were over there, and they have a fine ball club. They have all the ingredients. They're big up front, have excellent guards, and they're well coached. They play that full court man-to-man press, and they get back to half court, play that well. They're a tough ball club.
Shabazz and Montclair. Both clubs like to run. Both clubs will play man and zone. Both clubs will use full court and three-quarter court pressure. Keys to the ball game, Montclair feels they have to do the job inside. They have to bang the boards offensively and defensively. Shabazz, on the other hand, feels they have to start the penetration of Montclair's guards. First basket put up and in by the Bulldogs, Larry Barnhill. And we've got a flutter of paper that doesn't quite reach the floor. Not exactly the streamers of Big East games. A little different twist. Bulldogs are on the board first, 2-zip.
Came out like a knuckleball, Bruce. Bulldogs are also pressing full court after that tough shot by Barnhill, and it looks like they're going to go man-to-man against them.
We've got a whistle at official time called by Emil Clark. He wants to make sure that some of the debris is cleared. Larry Barnhill hit that first jumper, 5'11" junior guard.
That wasn't an easy shot, Bruce. He had to twist and turn to get in there.
Now, in terms of previous meetings in the ECT over the years, Montclair and Shabazz have met 4 times, and Shabazz, of course, Southside years ago, and as you can see, it is 2-2 in ECT play. Shabazz winning the last 2, Montclair winning the 54 final over this same Southside or Shabazz team, whichever you'd like to use in this particular reference. Montclair also winning in 1960. So 2-2 in terms of rivalry in the ECT between Montclair and Shabazz. And again, Eddie, those great Southside teams from back there in the 60s and whatnot were teams to be reckoned with, not only in county play, but in state play.
And a great, speaking of great athletes that play here, I remember that one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen in high school played for Southside, a kid named Lonnie Wright.
Oh, what a great ball player.
Could do everything, and he ended up
playing football
and basketball in the old ABA. He made the big leagues in both sports. with the, I think, the original Cincinnati Bengals, and he also played at Denver in the ABA.
I think he played with Denver in the old AFL also.
Maybe he did, Bruce. I could be wrong on that score.
Okay, the debris has been cleared. We're ready to go. Montclair with their first possession of the day. Out of the backcourt they come. This, one of the keys, 12, Dwayne Jones. He has the ball now, 5'9", junior point guard. Curtis Richwood turns and fires. Rebound handled easily by the Bulldogs.
That's Curtis's shot, that turnaround left-hand jumper.
Larry Barnhill plays it off to Ice McMillan. Back outside, Barnhill, who's directing traffic. This Shabazz club is peaking. They've won 5 in a row. They finished 3rd in the City League. And a foul is called on a reach on Dwayne Jones.
Shabazz seems all fired up out here early in the ball game.
Galesburg won the City League crown. Westside 2nd, Shabazz finished 3rd. Barnhill puts it up, and he gets the roll.
He's very quick, and he looks like he's going to take him to the hoop.
4 points for Larry Barnhill. Shabazz leads 4-0. Out of the backcourt, Dwayne Jones. Jones penetrates. Up play inside, but Richwood has the rebound.
They blocked Ewing's shot, but Richwood was right around the bucket there and went up with the basket.
Ice McMillan double pump blocked by Ewing and picked up by the Mounties. Darryl Giles across the midcourt line. Giles off in the corner to Osborne. He's deadly.
And here come the Mounties.
Robbie Osborne can shoot the eyes out of the basket. He now has 2. We're tied at 4. May not be a better street shooter in the county than Robbie Osborne. McMillan tips up no good. Giles rebound. Here come the Mounties. Dwayne Jones leads on the right to Osborne.
I'll tell you right now, we're not playing any slowdown. This is a run and shoot game. Everybody's moving.
6-4. Montclair has reeled off 6 unanswered points. Doc Frazier breaks the timeline. Hands it back to Larry Barnhill. Montclair down 4-0. Explodes back with 6 straight. Buck Parker from the left side hits the jumper. Electricity on the floor. We're tied at 6 at 5:34 of quarter number 1.
Clubs came out loose.
Giles down low, loses the ball out of bounds. Story on Darryl Giles, last year's leading scorer, but this year more of a complete player, a team player, and that has been the key to Montclair's success. 5 players can all score in double figures on any given night.
Giles is a football player, a great one, who's a tough athlete.
Well, you know, a lot of people have said that about Giles this year, but he can shoot, let me say that. He's got a nice touch, and I think you can say he is a basketball player as well as a football player.
Oh, I'm sure. He's a complete high school basketball player, but I think, you know, his future, once you go to Penn State, I don't think when Joe Paterno gets a hold of you, you're going to be shooting too many hoops other than in the intramural league.
Larry Barnhill, averaging 12 per ball game, has all the Shabazz points except for Buck Parker's, and now has 5 in the game. Yeah, I guess when you go to Penn State, you're either working in the Nautilus area or you're practicing.
I think they're concerned about football up there.
I think so too. Barnhill converts both free throws. The Bulldogs lead by 2, 8-6. Dwayne Jones breaks the timeline. Barnhill watches him. Mike Ewing. Here's Osborne. Penetrates, puts it up, blocked, foul call. Vince Foster came over and is being called for the foul. It's his first personal. And to the free throw line, Dwayne Jones. There's Bob Lesser. What a record and a legacy he has in New Jersey high school basketball.
Right in the UCC.
Dwayne Jones hits the first. Dwayne Jones, a 5'9" junior guard, hit 8 for 8 from the line in the semifinal. On the year, he's averaging 6 points per ball game, but he leads the club in assists.
Really a nice pair of high school guards, those two kids, Osborne and Jones.
And both juniors, Eddie.
Oh. they really complement that big front line.
Tied at 8. 4.5 first quarter. McMillan, nice jumper. First field goal for Matthew McMillan, and you can tell the relation to George Gervin. That's why they call him Ice. Parker, steal, puts it up, no good. Giles works the boards, and Emil Clark has a foul spotted on Shabazz. It'll be an offensive foul on Larry Barnhill. I'm sorry, it'll be called on Victor Foster. That is Foster's second personal foul.
Foster was going to the hoop. He wasn't going to pass that ball off. He had made up his mind.
10-8. The Bulldogs by 2. 4.5 first quarter of play. Dwayne Jones, one of the finer point guards in the county.
Barnhill's really trying to put the pressure on Dwayne Jones in that backcourt.
Traveling called on Curtis Richwood, and the Bulldogs will get the ball at side court.
I think that's what really what Shabazz is trying to do, Bruce. They're trying to really pressure Dwayne Jones, and Barnhill is quick enough to, make it difficult for him to get the ball up to the front line.
Here's Barnhill now working against Jones. Off it goes to Matthew McMillan. Ice pops it, no good. Rebound, Parker got it. James Buck Parker has 4 points, and the Bulldogs lead by 4.
Giles did not box out that time, and Parker got the inside position, and that'll cost you 2 most of the time.
Great defensive play by Doc Frazier, and Shabazz is really clawing defensively.
The two quick-handed defensive plays there. A blocked shot. Watch this now. There might be a replay. Here it is. There's the blocked shot over there. Now watch him knock the ball right out of his hand. There is Bruce clawing.
Giles shot no good. Richwood, good position. Curtis lays it in.
Yeah, he's tough under there. He can do that real well. He gets position. Good offensive rebounder.
12-10, Shabazz by 2. 3:39 to go, first quarter of play. Offensive foul called on Barnhill. No question about it.
Quite a guard battle here between Barnhill and Jones. They're going at each other. Old-fashioned nose-to-nose, man-to-man. Here they go again. Watch the 2 of them on your screen.
Bobby Lester says that Montclair's guards are quicker, but Shabazz's forwards are quicker.
Barnhill seems quick enough.
Giles off to Dwayne Jones. He hits.
Looked like Shabazz might have slipped into his zone that time because Jones was wide open.
Tied at 12. 3:13 first quarter, fast-paced game. Doc Frazier fires too hard. Parker has the rebound and a whistle, and another offensive foul called on Shabazz.
Watch this on the replay down there. Emil loves those offensive fouls. Well, that was one. He calls that right. Parker, he lowered his shoulder and tried to go off tackle, and he was caught.
3 minutes, first quarter, 12-12. Finals of the 36 ECT exclusively on TV3. Michael Ewing pops. Ball knocked around. Osborne has it. Brings it back to Jones.
That Michael Ewing is my player for Mr. Consistency. He does everything good.
Richwood down low, and a foul called on Ice McMillan, and Shabazz is getting in big foul trouble.
Montclair can go both ways. They can run that break real well, and they can set up and get the ball where it's supposed to be, down into Ridgewood or Ewing or Giles. And they got 2 guards that can drive, so they're in pretty good shape.
Curtis Richwood goes to the free throw line, a highly recruited athlete, averaging 19.8 to lead the Mounties. Will probably spend a year in the prep school ranks and then proceed to college.
That's what I understand. He'll end up at one of those places like Forked Union in Virginia, one of those places that take...
Forked Union Military Academy or Oak Hill Academy, or a place where he can improve his education and continue to play ball and then have a great college career. Nice fast break. Pretty left hand by Doc Frazier.
Yeah, and a nice pass by the Iceman there. Watch him coming down. I thought he was going to take a shot here, but he gets it to him right there at the right time. Carries it over to the left and lays it up. I'm looking at Donald Giles. He's confused by that last call.
Well, they called it a traveling violation, and Shabazz will have it at side court. 14 all, 2:17 to go, first quarter of play. High-scoring first quarter. This is Larry Barnhill. Long jumper, rims the basket. Rebound controlled by the little man, Dwayne Jones. Ahead to Michael Ewing. Cross-court Giles, that's his range. He hit.
And as you said, Bruce, he can shoot the ball.
First two for Darryl Giles. Mounties back up by 2. Minute 45, first quarter. McMillan helps with the pressure. And we've got a traveling violation called on McMillan.
I thought maybe they were going to get him for the time limit that time. They had him in the backcourt a long time. They did what you're not supposed to do fundamentally. They ran away from the ball, Bruce. They left him back there. When you're a young kid, they tell you that. Don't leave the guy back there with the ball.
Giles will inbound from side court. Plays it back to Dwayne Jones. Jones, the pesky playmaking guard. Plays it inside to Richwood. Fall away. Got it.
As I said previously, that's his shot. That little turnaround jumper from inside.
Mounties by 4. Barnhill breaks the press. Barnhill all the way. Puts it up. No good. Tipped up and in. Pretty play underneath by the Iceman. Matthew McMillan on the tip.
All right, watch the Iceman on this one. There's Barnhill driving up. Looks like he got it, but he didn't. And there's McMillan with that ever-present big bucket.
Montclair by 2, a minute 5 to go, first quarter. Jones got caught, tipped it in by Ewing.
Ewing held him off with one hand there and tipped it in. I like him very much. A couple of times I've seen him, I think he's a real fine, consistent ball player.
And he's probably the most underrated Montclair player. Good point, Eddie. Whistle underneath. Curtis Richwood got caught for holding Doc Frazier's shorts. I think he'll hold it, they would say grab him there, right, Eddie? When you box out, grab the shorts,
keeps him from
and
jumping.
then turn.
Might embarrass him.
All 5 Montclair starters have scored already. Parker, yes! Bulldogs back to within 2 with 39 seconds to go in the first quarter of play.
High scoring first quarter for the ECT. Usually they come in here a little gun shy in the final, but they're loose as a goose and firing them up.
Here's Ewing. Inside Giles. Fall away. Got it. Giles playing with great control. Montclair leads by 4 with 19 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Let's see if the Bulldogs play for 1 with 15 seconds to go.
Well, Montclair has now fallen back into a 2-3 zone. First time they've used it, and it was successful. They get a turnover.
Here's Robbie Osborne with 5 seconds. Knocked out of bounds. Great defensive play by Larry Barnhill.
Barnhill's got quick hands.
4 seconds left first quarter. Montclair leads by 4. Giles plays it in to Dwayne Jones. Long jump shot. Got it. Dwayne Jones hits at the buzzer. And Montclair leads 24-18 in a high-powered first quarter from Walsh Auditorium. Back with more of the ECT final in just a moment. Dwayne Jones at 6, Curtis Richwood 7, Darryl Giles 4, Mike Ewing 2, all 5 Montclair starters scoring in the first quarter of play. And you want to talk about talent in the county? I think that was evident in that first quarter.
I'll tell you, Shabazz did not play that badly, Bruce. In fact, they played very well. Montclair just played better.
Both clubs shooting proficiently from the floor.
And not making many mistakes. There hadn't been too many turnovers. Moving the ball, looking to one another, playing good, sound basketball, defensively and offensively.
Long jumper by McMillan, too hard. Giles has the rebound, hands the ball off to Dwayne Jones.
I spoke too soon. That was a forced shot.
Osborne, he's deadly. Left side, Richwood. Curtis hits it. And Montclair leads by 8. And they're pressuring Shabazz, who might be forcing a bit right now. Barnhill all the way. No good, but a foul call. Barnhill really has been the most penetrating player for Shabazz, Eddie, and he's been playing the best game. He seems to be their best offensive weapon.
Well, he looks like he's very confident that he could just take the ball by him, go right up the middle.
Takes it right down the gut.
Yeah, right down the pipe, as they say, and he's done it 2 or 3 times.
Barnhill pulls down 4 rebounds a game. That's not bad for a 5'11" guard.
Gets up pretty good. He's quick.
You know what else? When he leaves his feet, he is under control. Here comes the Super Six man for Montclair, Robert Brown, a 6'2" senior forward. And he spells Michael Ewing. Bob Lesser says it's great to have a guy like Brown in your artillery. He can come in and give anyone a breather. And when you're playing against the zone, Brown is a great outside shooter.
Plenty of balance and a good sixth man.
Wayne Jones across the timeline. In the corner, Osborne. Richwood has the rebound. Curtis double team. And a fine defensive play by Frazier.
Richwood's one of those slinky players, Bruce. He hangs around the basket and the ball always seems to come to him. That's not the case. It means that he has really good actions in there and he's got that instinct for the ball.
Giles puts it up and in, and Darryl Giles has hit nothing but net in his 3 field goal attempts. He has 6 points.
You gave him the blessing, Bruce. You said he could shoot.
Mounties by 10, 28-18. McMillan plays back to Barnhill. Parker. Threw it away. Robert Brown hands the ball to Giles. Quickly up court, Osborne. Back to Giles, and he decides to bring it out. Montclair showing their discipline.
Looks like they're going to run a play.
And a foul called, a reach-in foul on McMillan, his second personal. And Montclair on the verge of a potential blowout, leading 28-18 with 6:40 to go in the first half.
It's been a long time since 1954.
It has been a long, long time.
Of course, Montclair, through those years in the 50s, Bruce, had those great, great football teams with Larry Anderson.
Curtis Richwood. What touch for a big man. Crowd comes alive here at Walsh Auditorium. Curtis Richwood, already in the ball game, has 10 points, averaging just under 12 rebounds per game. He works at both ends of the floor. Rebound handled by Shabazz. This is Larry Barnhill. 29-18, 11-point Mountie lead. Parker loses the ball. Giles has it.
Mounties are turning that defense on now to get that break going, and they're playing great defense.
Wayne Jones penetrates. Dumps it down low. Ball loose. Bulldogs have it. Shabazz needs a bucket. Victor Foster leads McMillan. Couldn't control it. Here we go the other way. Jones, 4 on 3. Osborne fires short. Rebound, Richwood. Curtis lays it up in air.
As I said, that's his forte. He can go to that offensive board, smell the ball out. He did it again.
Shabazz needs a timeout, and they're going to call for one.
They need one badly before it's blowout time.
Timeout on the floor with 5:34 to go in the first half of play. Montclair has scored 7 unanswered points to begin the second quarter. They lead 31-18. And playing a flawless game.
Montclair, as you always talk about, Bruce, and like to talk about, they have a bunch of role players too. Their guards know exactly what they're supposed to do. Jones is a penetrator. Osborne can shoot the ball if you're back off. And then they got the 3 big guys up front, and they got Brown to come in as a 6th man. What do you need in high school? And they're well coached.
That's for sure. Bobby Lester, head coach of Montclair in his 3rd season. 29-3 in the ECT. Wow. Where Mike Butler found that statistic, I won't know, but it's a good one.
It's a great one. All his statistics are great ones. I coached for 26 years and thought I did a great job at 70%. He's at 85%, and I think 88% over 85 in the ECT and 88 over an 11-year career.
He's marvelous.
Not too shabby.
So far in the ball game, in terms of shot production from the floor, Montclair 59%, Shabazz 44%. There's the story of the game.
Their defense also is killing them down there. They're getting their hands in all the time. They're disrupting the whole Shabazz set offense.
Violation called on the Mountie. Shabazz ball at side court. Little wet spot. Now Parker takes care of it. 5:35 first half, 31-18. in favor of the Montclair Mounties, looking for their first ECT championship since 1954. Last time they were in a final was back in 1960. And look at Montclair work defensively now.
They're in the zone now, Bruce.
Giles has the rebound, plays it back to Dwayne Jones. Off to Osborne. Back to Jones. Giles penetrates, puts it up. Oh, is he hot?
4 for 4 and all net.
Giles has 8. Montclair by 15 points.
There's Darryl Giles. He takes him on a fake. Over into the corner, goes up. That was his weakest shot. He hit a little bit of the rim.
They have a violation on Shabazz, and Montclair has the ball back. Montclair scored 9 consecutive points here in the second quarter after leading 24-18 at the end of 8 minutes of play.
Now Shabazz is going into a zone, but it may be too late. Montclair's going to force him out of it with a little 1-3-1 type offense. Pretty soon they're going to tell Shabazz to come out and play.
Brown plays it off to Giles. Shabazz in that 2-3 zone. You can't come back from 15 down and playing a zone, Eddie.
No, you can't do that, Bruce.
Got to come out and double team the ball. Dwayne Jones plays off to Giles.
The only thing you might do, and I question some of what Montclair's doing, take away a little bit of their momentum. They were really going good there.
Dwayne Jones plays off to Robert Brown. Work it down low to Curtis Richwood. No good. And a foul call. And Richwood is the biggest player on the floor, and he's using his height advantage. Has himself inside and has great position, and nobody's going to stop him if he's in there, Ed.
That's right. As I said, he's got great instinct. He's what they used to call, he is a great shooter. They used to call him garbage men around the bucket there. But if you don't box him out, he's going to kill you, and he's obviously not being boxed out. He's sniffing that ball out.
Richwood, as you can see, is a phenomenal shooter from the floor. Barnhill breaks the timeline. Barnhill plays it off to McMillan. He passes inside to Parker. Richwood steals it. Dwayne Jones. Now they go back into their spread offense.
Montclair's dominating the tempo both ways.
Dwayne Jones lost the ball out of bounds. That won't happen too often.
It might be the first turnover of that kind that they've committed in the first half.
33-18. Shabazz has not scored a point for 4.5 minutes. The Bulldogs looking to make an ECT double. Their women won the final yesterday over Clifford Scott. Down low, good position. Parker doesn't get the roll. Again puts it up no good. McMillan bouncing, and nothing will drop for the Bulldogs as Giles has it.
Giles went up high to get that one. You know, Bruce, in the meantime, looking around, this place is kind of filled up now. It was a late coming crowd.
Here's Giles. He penetrates, dumps it off to Richwood. Great move!
Montclair looks unstoppable right now. Watch this on the replay. There's Giles going towards the hoop, gives it to Richwood, takes one step, and I don't have to tell you the rest.
Meanwhile, on the other end of the floor, the ball goes out of bounds again off Shabazz, and Montclair will have it. There's Bob Lester, head coach of the Mounties. His club has been in control of this ball game, and now we have a timeout taken by Shabazz.
I'll give you an inside joke. Richwood gave us the first Roy Hinson of today.
First good slam dunk. 2:37 left in the first half of play, and Montclair leads 35-18. They have outscored Shabazz 11-0 in the second quarter.
And are looking great doing it. I hate to say it because I've done it before and been wrong, but starting to look like this one might be over right now.
Well, let's go back into the annals of time and talk a little bit about the history of the ECT with these two teams involved. The first ECT for Montclair was in 50, for Shabazz, then Southside 1947. Their records in ECT play: Montclair 58%, Shabazz 63%. Shabazz has won 5 ECT titles, the only team that has won more. East Orange was 6. Montclair's lone win was back in 1954. Last final, as you see, Shabazz last year, Montclair back in 60, and Montclair the runner-up twice, Shabazz the runner-up 4 times.
You got some great stats there, Bruce. Where do you get these interesting
Kevin
stats?
Duffy, KP Duffy, who over the years did a marvelous job in researching the history of the ECT, compiled a book in 1978. He went back to the old Newark News and put together some stories, and even talked to people like Sid Rothbard and Finn Tracy and asked them to remember dates and times, and he has a book now that'll be used for years and years to come.
I'd like to see that sometime, some winter night. Just sit down and read that thing.
Dwayne Jones penetrates, puts it down low, the pass off to Richwood, but Curtis shuffled his feet beforehand, and Emil Clark caught it.
Well, it'll be another record for Duffy's book if Shabazz doesn't do something quickly, because I don't know how many teams have been shut out over a quarter in this tournament, but they are right now.
Keith Buckram, who's in the ballgame for Shabazz, got caught for a backcourt violation. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in the first half. Shabazz has not scored in the second quarter. Montclair leads in the game 35-18, and Dwayne Jones is fouled. He will go to the line for 1-1.
I'm safe in saying, Bruce, I think if you get shut out, at least you'd tie the record.
That's for sure. Reggie Carter now comes in the ballgame, hoping to add some life to the Shabazz backcourt. He replaces Larry Barnhill. Shabazz's record only 14-7, but they've won their last 5. Couple of impressive wins over Valsburg and Glen Ridge to get to this final. They are not a club to count out just yet. Jones, a good free throw shooter, tosses up a brick, and the rebound is controlled by the Bulldog. Reggie Carter plays the ball off to Buckram, and a foul called underneath. It's against Montclair. 2 time.
I think Shabazz finally gets into the 1-1, and we'll have a chance to break that shutout that they have going for them.
There's Brian Philpott, who checks in the ball game now. Dwayne Jones was charged for the personal foul, and Jones gets a breather. Philpott in the ball game. He is a 5'8" senior guard.
They use him as a zone breaker, Bruce. He's a fine outside shooter.
Keith Buckram's free throw no good. Good hustle by Robert Brown, but then he's called for step. Bob Lester, if you look at him on the bench, is in complete control today. He has really calmed down this season following an incident earlier in the year at Plainfield. It's something that Bob and the rest of his staff and the people of Montclair will talk about, because after some locker room incidents at Plainfield in which Montclair did not act in a sportsmanlike way, they made an apology to their Board of Education, to the Plainfield Board of Education, and they will, during the summer, have members of the team speak to their junior high school kids, and also next year talk to them about sportsmanship and the importance of it. I think a lesson was well learned from the whole situation at Plainfield, and if something positive comes out of something negative, then indeed you've learned something, and it's the best way to learn. And I think that Bob Lester is showing that throughout this tournament in terms of the command he has had over himself. Turnover against Shabazz, and Montclair will get the ball. The Mounties have dominated play here in the second quarter, 11-0 in the second quarter of play. As you see, first quarter close, but here in the second, it's been a blowout. Brian Philpott breaks the timeline. Minute 33, first half. Robert Brown. Good move!
Beautiful move. Robert Brown took the ball along the baseline, had to come back up with his left hand. Watch the replay. Watch him coming along the baseline. He's got to come back up here with his left hand. Look at that move.
Shabazz is called for another turnover, and Montclair will get the ball back.
Shabazz is completely flustered now in this one, and they haven't done anything right this whole quarter.
Robert Brown Helping out, there's Philpott, gets it off to Giles. He penetrates, pulls up, and hits.
And that time he got net again. 5 for 5 for Darrell.
Giles with 10 points. 21-point lead for Montclair. All knocked out of bounds, last touch by Montclair. We've talked a lot about the offense. Montclair is playing a brilliant defensive game. Shabazz is turning the ball over as often as I've seen any club in this first half.
They came out of that man-to-man, and they've been in that 2-3 zone, and they got hands all over the place. And there they go. They turned it over again.
And Richwood comes up with the ball, hands to Giles. Montclair playing with such poise and such control. Giles dumps it off to Richwood, and a whistle, and we will have a jump ball.
I'll tell you, if Montclair went for the last shot, Shabazz has a chance of being shut out. And I didn't think that was possible. Basketball.
Montclair allowing just 54.2 points per game, but here in the first half, they've only allowed 18. Giles gets it to Richwood.
Nice.
Beautiful play. Montclair dominating the second quarter with 33 seconds left in the quarter. Montclair has outscored Shabazz 17-0.
They're all over them defensively.
McMillan in the corner. Back outside it goes to Carter. McMillan throws it away. Brown plays to Philpott. Brian Philpott with 12 seconds in the first half.
I think they're going to do it, Bruce. I'm looking for that no-hitter. I've never seen it before. I think they're going to do it.
Long jumper by Osborne. Good! That is it. First half of play is history. And you can add another record to the record books of the ECT as Montclair outscores Shabazz 19-0 in a flawless second quarter of play. Perhaps the finest second quarter I've ever seen a high school team play. And the score at the half, 43-18.
Unbelievable, Bruce. A shutout. And Montclair has done it all, defensively and offensively.
We'll take a break and we'll be back with the halftime show in just a moment. Shabazz committed 13, Montclair 9. But the big story, that shooting touch of Montclair. Score by quarters, an incredible 19-0 edge for Montclair in the second quarter of play. And that, of course, an ECT record. High individual score, Curtis Richwood has 16 for Montclair, and for Shabazz, Larry Barnhill and James Parker have 6. Dwayne Jones shot no good, and Shabazz has the rebound. Eddie?
That wasn't, I don't know what he was doing there, Dwayne. He hasn't done that tonight. He went in there, it looked like he didn't have anybody to throw the ball to and just let it go. The ball will not go down for Shabazz. There it goes. That's their first score in about
8 minutes. McMillan gets the field goal. Shabazz cuts the lead to 23. Robbie Osborne penetrates, a little out of control, out of bounds to Montclair.
I think Bobby Lester's trying to tell him we haven't won it yet. We're not going into any freezes or any fooling around. Let's just keep putting the ball in the basket and ice it.
Steal off the inbound pass by Larry Barnhill. He drives, puts it off the glass and in. Consecutive field goals by Shabazz, and it's a 43-22 game.
Well, we'll say this, Shabazz isn't going to quit. They've come right out and scored 4 points.
Dwayne Jones across the timeline. Dwayne Jones spins, throws it off to Robbie Osborne. Osborne plays it to Michael Ewing. Ewing back to Osborne. Montclair now trying to work the ball around.
Looks like they're in a small offense.
Semi-freeze.
I don't know what they're trying to do.
There's Richwood, isolated. He does not get the roll. Rebound, McMillan.
Other than to be nice to Shabazz, I would say you got to keep trying to score here. You can't go into that at this stage.
Parker's shot no good. Ball batted around. Giles throws it. Fast break, Montclair. Osborne lays it in. That was a picture-perfect fast break. You got the outlet pass and the pass up the floor, Ed.
And then Osborne gave a little fake before he went up and let him go out the door.
Beautiful try by McMillan. And again, Shabazz hustling and cutting the lead to 21, 45-24. 6 minutes even, third quarter of play. And this, the 36th ECT final from Walsh Auditorium. Bruce Beck and Ed Lyons on the call for TV3 Sports. Shabazz with another steal.
I'll tell you what, Montclair's standing around now. They could use a timeout and go over this again.
Shabazz finally pounding the boards and pounding it well. Ewing to Richwood, off it goes to Dwayne Jones.
It looks like Montclair has decided not to fast break, Bruce. Nobody went down that time.
Dwayne Jones penetrates, throws it off to Osborne. No good, ball batted around. Shabazz has it again. Barnhill, foul call. Foul called on Montclair, and it's on Dwayne Jones.
Wayne's having rough luck. That's twice he's got in there for the charge and didn't get it either time.
Now Coach Robert King being talked to by Emil Clark.
I believe he's asking for non-player control, a non-player control foul, but I don't know if he's getting it or not. Yes, he is.
Barnhill to the line.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Barnhill.
That's what I thought.
At 15 points in the semis. Off it goes McMillan. No good. And a whistle and a foul called on Montclair.
And all of a sudden, Shabazz has gotten fired up, and Montclair is standing around, and Bobby Lester has called a timeout, and he's a little upset over there.
Well, Shabazz has outscored Montclair 6-2 in this third quarter of play with 5:12 remaining in the third quarter of play.
You know, Bruce, having coached a long time, one of the hardest things to do is when you really rip a club like that in the second quarter and you go in with about a 25-point lead, it's awful hard to try to tell the kids you got to keep playing and we haven't won it, you know. And that's what Bobby Lester has to do now. What the heck, Shabazz has nothing to lose. They were getting humiliated out there, and they're going to fight their way right back in there.
And give Robert King a lot of credit because his kids have come out to play. They're playing with enthusiasm. They're playing with spirit. They're playing with emotion. And if they can just chip away, what you have to tell your club, don't get it all back in a hurry. Get a couple buckets here and there. And in that 2-minute and 48-second string, they outscored Montclair 6-2. That's 4 points you chip.
That's right.
So let's see if the Bulldogs might make a run. McMillan averaging 20.5 per game. That leads the Shabazz club. Matthew Ice McMillan, short on the first. At times, McMillan looks like he has excellent touch, and at times, it doesn't.
He throws bricks, as you like to say. There's another one. Both of those were bricks.
Rebound Ewing. Off it goes to Giles. He plays back to Ewing. Breaks the press, but threw it away. Intercepted by Frazier. Barnhill. No good. Foul call. And the foul.
Fouls are going all against Montclair, and I believe that Shabazz might be in the 1-1 already.
It's on Ewing, the foul. Emil Clark went over to Richie Sanfilippo, said, "What did you think?" And Richie said, "I didn't see it, Emil. It's your call."
Let's take a look at it. Is this it? Let's see what we got here. I don't know, Bruce. What do you call?
Kind of moving in. I don't think he had position established. I would say it was an accurate call.
Okay.
Other people will say, well, he was standing still, but he wasn't. He was moving in when he finally did hit him.
There's been nights when I thought that Emo and I have had some disagreements.
I would say that this has been a well-officiated game because you don't even know they're here.
Right.
Barnhill has 9, leads Shabazz in scoring.
No, I was just kidding about that. There's no problem with the officiating here today at all.
Foul called on Doc Frazier underneath, and this will be on the Bulldogs. By the way, I think they're a pretty good duo. Sanfilippo and Clark, they balance each other out very well. They've worked, as a matter of fact, the last couple of ECTs that we have done.
Is Montclair in the 1-1 already?
I didn't think so.
Oh, I think he might have called it a deliberate foul. That's all it could be.
Okay, so Curtis Richwood, 17 points and 9 bouts, having a fine game. And he hits the first.
I'm a little confused by that one. I really didn't think they were... It has to be a deliberate foul because it happened down the other end of the floor. But suppose you're not in the one-on-one, do you still get the... I suppose. I never did know the rules.
Good steal by Dwayne Jones, who penetrates.
Nice pass.
Giles blocked. Foul call. Frazier got way up on that one. And I thought that one might have been clean, but maybe the body.
I don't know. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. It's getting rough out there now. Watch this pass right in there by Dwayne Jones. A little too low. There he goes. Nah, he got him on the body.
He got him.
Daryl's a pretty tough football player, and he got ripped.
Giles to the line, averaging 9.6, his 10 points in the game, 5 for 5 from the floor, and he misses his first free throw attempt.
That might be the first shot he missed today.
It is, absolutely is. .443, third quarter, 47-25 in favor of the Mounties. Giles hits. Mounties by 23.
With everything, Montclair's back up again, and
Buckram inside. Ball blocked by Richwood. Buckram has it back. Outside to Larry Barnhill. Penetrates, puts it up. No good. Curtis Richwood of Montclair has the rebound. He plays it off to Dwayne Jones. 4:15, third quarter. Montclair by 23. Giles penetrates, dumps it off to Richwood, and Curtis goes up. Yes, and a foul. It was a funny kind of basket, Eddie, because he lost control of the ball when he went up.
On his way up.
And he still made it.
Here's the replay on it. Watch Giles. He's penetrating right down the pipe. Now he gives it to him. Now right there he loses control. There it is.
Oh.
There it is. He's
still able to control it.
Kind of flicked it back up like a two-hand tap.
Curtis Richwood.
Had 17 points in the first half.
Having a little bit of trouble from the line this year, but he hits that
one. 26 points. The spread, I mean.
Loose ball picked up by McMillan. Matthew Ice McMillan pulls up the long jump shot that is no good. Rebound taken down by Foster. His shot rebounded and put up by McMillan. And out of bounds, last touch by a Montclair player, namely Robert Brown.
I'll tell you one thing, Shabazz is doing better in this quarter. They're attacking the offensive board, and they're getting 2 and 3 shots down there.
McMillan drives and lays it in. McMillan, 6 in the third quarter, now has 10 for the game. Montclair front court now, Richwood, Robert Brown, and Darryl Giles. Here's Dwayne Jones, plays off to Osborne. Osborne penetrates, hits Brown, Montclair again in that spread out offense.
Yeah, like a four-corner going down the pipe and trying to pass off.
Richwood down on the low post, hits it.
He's having a day.
I think what they're trying to do, Eddie, is just get the ball to Richwood to shoot. McMillan is hammered by Robert Brown, and a foul called on Robert Brown. McMillan will go to the line. Giles, the peacemaker out there.
I think Darryl is big and strong enough to be a peacemaker in a lot of places. I can see he's got a great body for a young kid. He'll be a great football player for Penn State.
Matt McMillan goes to the line.
Where are they going to use him, Bruce? He's not going to be a quarterback up there. Be a tight end?
I don't know. Maybe a split end.
I guess he's not big enough to be a tight end in that league.
McMillan, he's in a real nice third quarter.
It's 8 points.
53-29. So 2 minutes, 59 seconds left, third quarter of play. Dwayne Jones.
Montclair in that spread offense.
Giles plays off to Osborne. Osborne penetrates. Oh, very poised team, Montclair.
I'll tell you, Giles can take that ball.
Here's Jones. I like the way he controls things. Foul is called on McMillan.
They are playing cat and mouse with Shabazz right now.
You know, other clubs would continue to run and perhaps run the score up, too. Montclair, with that huge lead, is playing a control-type game now.
They may be working on some things that they think will come in handy in the state tournament.
That's true.
Later on in the year.
Jones lost control. McMillan has it. Fast break to the forecourt. McMillan threw it through the hands of Foster and out of bounds. Giles plays it into Osborne, back to Darrell Giles. Montclair 53, Shabazz 29, 2:17 left in the 36th ECT. Osborne dribbling around. Montclair will be playing in Group 4, and they've got some powerhouses to deal with.
I'll tell you, they can play with most of them. I don't know if you never know in the state tournament.
Curtis Richwood, ball away, got it.
Sometimes it's the luck of the draw, but I'll tell you, this Montclair Cub can play with most of them.
North Jersey Section 2 Group 4, not as strong as it has been in some past years, but when you get outside our section this year, a lot of talent. Atlantic City, Camden, Trenton.
Looking forward to seeing them.
Neptune.
Those are names that seem to come up every year, aren't they, Bruce?
I think so. I think you see the consistency now.
And they'll be in the Meadowlands.
At the free throw line, James Parker, averaging 10, only has 6. Scored all of his points in the first quarter. Rebound, Brown. Quick outlet pass taken away by Barnhill. Larry drives. Ball knocked around and a foul called, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Robert King, head coach after 4 years as an assistant to Autry Reynolds, a little bit upset with that call. 14-7 this year. Shabazz really turning it on the last 2 or 3 weeks. They finished third in the City League, but have won 5 in a row. And Bob Lester, well, the Lester record, if you look down, is really amazing. 258-45. Lester's career record, that is 85%.
Amazing.
Giles in and out in the free throw. And the rebound is pulled down by Barnhill. Bulldogs looking into that zone now. Having trouble penetrating.
That's what Montclair did in the first half. They switched to that zone, and that was all she wrote for the Bulldogs.
Curtis Richwood, good position. A lot of people think that Richwood, when he gets into a physical game, might get pushed around, but I think he uses his position so well that he can make up for a couple of pounds. Violation called against Montclair, and it will be Shabazz ball.
I think they went over the time limit, getting it out of the backcourt. Your comment on Ridgewood, I would think that maybe he would in a real physical game, but tonight he's rebounded both off the offensive and defensive backcourt. He's been in traffic, and he's done the rebounding job.
Shabazz with the ball. Barnhill plays it off to Buck Parker. Tries the baseline, traveling violation call. 54 seconds left, third quarter of play. Montclair leading comfortably, 55-29.
After that error-free second quarter that Montclair played, this has been a little ragged both ways, but you can expect that in a game like this.
Giles, Montclair controlling the tempo. Ball knocked away, picked up by Parker. Parker drives, blocked by Giles. Great block.
Great clean block.
Now along the baseline, Barnhill puts it up no good. Giles has the rebound. Giles plays it back to Dwayne Jones. 12 seconds left in the corner. Dwayne Jones knocked out of bounds by Shabazz. Shabazz playing very good defense in this third quarter of play.
Also getting away with a little bit of assault mayhem down there.
Here's Robert Brown with 6 seconds left in the quarter. Dwayne Jones to Richwood. Curtis full away. No good. Rebound Parker. And that is it. 3 quarters of play in the books in the 36th ECT final. Score Montclair 55, Shabazz 29. Back with the final 8 minutes in a moment. And the story of the ball game, a flawless second quarter by Montclair, outscoring and shutting out Shabazz 19-0. And in the third, Montclair holding on for a 12-11 advantage. And a pretty good crowd on hand after all here at the 36th ECT. Not maybe what some had expected or some had anticipated, but still a pretty good late showing crowd. Montclair in the white and blue, Shabazz in the yellow with the black numerals and the white trim. And here we go in the final quarter of play. Parker throws it away, channeled by Dwayne Jones. Jones across the timeline. Montclair leads by a comfortable 26. Dwayne Jones to Curtis Richwood, and he lays it in.
Well, Bruce, they're doing just what you said it looks like they're doing. They keep penetrating the middle and giving the ball to Richwood. He keeps putting it in the basket.
Reach-in foul called on Dwayne Jones. I like the way he plays. I think he's played a marvelous game. Only has 6 points, but he controls the offense, controls the ball, and really has only had 1 or 2 turnovers.
Exactly.
And he likes that Curtis Richwood, doesn't he?
Well, they all do. Giles goes down the pipe and gives it to him, too.
Very unselfish team. Very unselfish team.
You know, they can all put the ball on the floor, the whole 5 of them.
I would say, barring an unforeseen, very poor game, that this club is a real contender for the Group 4 championship in the state of New Jersey this year. Barnhill has 10, a chance to make it 11.
I predict they'll get out of our section anyway here in Essex County, Union County. Yep.
There's your score. 7:30 to play.
Although that Plainfield's a good ball club.
Oh, they are. That's right. That's one club you really have to watch for in this section. Elizabeth's a pretty good club this year, too.
Right. Well, again, Montclair goes back to the cat and mouse.
Ball knocked away, too, and picked up by the Bulldogs. Danny Price in the ball game for the first time for Shabazz. Parker has it swiped away from behind.
And as you see, they really are turning down the fast break. Bruce, they just will not go on it. Osborne's controlling the tempo, and they won't go on it.
Foul call with 6:51 to go. Montclair has really breezed through this tournament. 75-38 winners over Caldwell. 74-63 over East Orange. 62-47 over West Side. And the interesting stat, Eddie, is that in each of the 3 games, Montclair had a different leading scorer, which tells a lot about their balance.
I don't know whether he's sick or not feeling well or what, but Michael Ewing, who I think is a very good ball player, has not played much at all today. I don't even know if he scored, has he?
Yes, he scored in the early going. He had 2 points, and that's been it.
They've used Robert Brown, their 6th man, instead.
Soft touch by Doc Frazier, who now has 4 points. Here's Osborne. He hasn't really had a chance to show us his touch, Osborne. He's better against the zone when you're spreading him out. He just guns. Got a great outside shot.
They could have gone on the break that time, Bruce, but they turned it down again and brought the ball back to run this spread offense.
Montclair spreading him out again.
You know, Giles could play the backcourt. He's clever. He gives the ball up right at the right time. He'll dribble a little bit, but once the double team comes, he gets rid of it.
Wanted to thank Anthony Armanda for helping us with the statistics in relation to Montclair High School. Does a marvelous job in keeping all the statistics with the Montclair team. We'd like to pass along our thanks for all his support. And while I'm talking about things, wanted to wish Ed Boccangelli, who is our engineer in charge, is dead, returning from a trip from Italy. A very welcome home. Hope he enjoyed his trip, and we know that he's looking forward to getting back with his family. We just wanted to say hello and wish him the very best. Darryl Giles goes to the line. Giles, 20 points in the semifinals, and he now has 12 for this ball game. Giles 5 for 5, I still believe, from the floor, Eddie.
He hasn't taken a shot in the third quarter. He's been in the backcourt, and he's been handling the ball.
Giles cans the 2 free throws. He now has 13. And Montclair leading by 26 with 6 minutes to play and very, very much in control. Barnhill with it. Plays it off in the corner to McMillan. He fires it. Good.
Ice uses the glass, and he gets that one.
Montclair looking to break it now. Shabazz full court man-to-man press. Richwood. Plays it back to Osborne. Gets it ahead to Richwood. Curtis fires. No good, but a foul. Foul is called on Kevin Holman. And going to the line will be Curtis Richwood for 2.
Although Montclair is not trying to run it up the floor, they were forced to go on the break that time. Only way they could get it out of there, and they found Richwood up ahead. He gets up there, and they look for him, and they give it to him.
In and out for Curtis. Our good friend Eddie Lyons once won that championship ring back in 1962 when he coached the Clifford Scotties, the first small team ever to win the ECT championship. Were you Group 1 or Group 2 then, Eddie?
Group 2, and our opponent that night was Seton Hall, coached by the late Frank Finn Tracy.
Dwayne Jones breaks the timeline. Ball loose, but a reach-in foul is called on Barnhill. Ed Lyons was asked to wear his legendary ring to the game today, but forgot.
I had some car problems. What's new? This morning, and I came...
No excuse. You should have had it on late last night.
Came aggravated. I'll tell you what, we'll see a couple of the kids from that team of ours when we do the All-Star game. I believe that Jimmy Runke has something to do with the Southern group team, and Herbie Cohen has something to do with the Northern team. And they were a pair of guards that I would say were like Jones and Osborne. They really complement each other out there. Jimmy could handle the ball, and Herbie was a great shooter and could handle it too.
Dwayne Jones hits both free throws. Mounties 61-35 over the Bulldogs. Here's McMillan. Ball taken away and controlled by Robbie Osborne. Parker swipes it back. Parker, pass inside, batted around. We're playing volleyball now as Barnhill puts it up, no good. Richwood has the ball. Look at the big man handle it. A little bit short. Rebound, Buckram.
He did handle it, though. He went behind his back.
Buckram penetrates. Tipped up and no good. Giles rebound. And some big pushing inside as Giles and Parker collided. And a foul called on Shabazz.
I don't think Darryl is too timid in traffic. He goes up strong.
Giles just got fouled and ran right to the foul line. Wasn't going to bother with anybody, you know?
He's like that. He doesn't seem to want to cause any problems out there whatsoever. He just plays.
4:40 to go, and Montclair seems well on their way to their first ECT championship since 1954. This would be their second win overall, and it's been a long time coming to a sports community which has done so well in all sports over the past 4 or 5 decades.
28 years.
Darryl Giles, 13 points in the ball game. Giles hits the free throw. 4:40 still on the clock. Mounties continue to add to the board. 27-point lead. The big story in this game, a 19-0 second quarter where Montclair played flawless basketball and Shabazz couldn't buy a bucket.
Have to go back to our friend Mr. Duffy. This could be one of the widest margins in a final of an ECT ever.
Ooh, a pretty jump shot off the glass by Barnhill. The interesting thing, Eddie, is last year these two clubs played in the semifinal of the ECT, and Shabazz beat Montclair 76-42.
I was here with you, and they blew them out. It was the same type of blowout.
Pretty move by McMillan. Shabazz continues to press, and 24 points, still a lot. Here's Brown, nice feed, but Curtis lost it out of bounds.
You ever notice, Bruce, every time down, if you were scouting this club, Curtis Ridgewood goes to the right side of the basket. He just stays there till they come barreling down.
Ball underneath. Giles has to rebound and a foul called. And it's called on Doc Frazier's fourth.
There goes Dow back down to the foul line.
By the way, answering your question on the most lopsided victory in ECT history, 1965, Essex Catholic 80, Arts 25, a 55-point spread.
Yeah, I wasn't meaning that, Bruce. I meant in the finals. Because usually, in the finals, you have two well-balanced clubs.
Okay. Darryl Giles goes to the free throw line. Giles is 65% free throw shooter. Now in the ball game, Kevin Holman for the Bulldogs. Whistle off the rebound and a foul call. Tough time of game for the officials and in many ways for the participants.
Yeah, especially at this time, I would say within another minute or so, the substitutes are going to start appearing, and it'll be a long 3 minutes.
So it's timeout on the floor with 3:55 to play. Montclair leading 63-39 in search of the 36th ECT championship. By the way, Eddie, this will be the 13th time in ECT history that the number one seed took it all.
Out of 36 years, only 13 times. That's about 1/3, maybe a little better.
Well, he's going to be mad at me that I called him the coach of Millsboro. To the free throw line, Kevin Holman, 6'5" sophomore forward. First trips to the line, 1-1.
Getting some ECT experience. There's Ridgewood again, right up in traffic to get that ball.
Dwayne Jones breaks the pressure. Curtis Ridgewood. Nice feed, Curtis. Robert Brown cans the basket off the feed from Ridgewood. Ooh. Now that added some excitement to the fourth quarter.
That was the best slam dunk of the day, I do believe.
The best slam dunk of the day. Perhaps will go down as one of the best dunks in ECT history.
I don't think they keep dunk history here.
No, they don't.
Only down at the home of the Scarlet on the Raritan.
McMillan's had a fine second half. Tremendous credit should be given to this young man who had a marvelous season. Still will be a big factor at Shabazz's run for a state championship. Look out! Robert Brown lays it up and in.
I was worried that Robert was going to get slammed through the door.
Buckram plays down low. McMillan's shot no good. Giles loses the ball. Yeah, the one thing you can't forget, Eddie, is that Shabazz is a Group 4 school, and they should be very much involved in the state play also.
Might meet each other again.
That's right. They very well could. Shabazz lost last year in the Group 4 state championship to a club named Neptune,
who upset the #1 seed, I would believe, in the whole state, Camden. Supposed to be invincible, and Neptune beat him at the Javelin Gymnasium.
3:15 to go in the ball game. Pretty move underneath by McMillan, who continues to score in the second half. 17 unofficially for McMillan in the second half, 21 in the game. Giles breaks the press off to Osborne. Montclair 67, Shabazz 44. Montclair outscoring Shabazz 19-0 in the second quarter, looking for their first ECT championship since 1954. There's a reach-in foul called. A lot of fouling this last quarter.
That always happens in this type of game. Still a 23-point run, but for some reason, when it gets to be 67-44, it looks a little more respectable.
Dwayne Jones got it. Now in the ball game for the Bulldogs, Vince Foster. Dwayne Jones still with a free throw. And he hits it.
Nice and soft, good spin. Did it the way you're supposed to do it.
Haven't really had a close ECT final since the game back in '79 between Valley and Orange.
We had that one.
2:35 to go. McMillan gets the basket. Matthew McMillan. And McMillan continues to play well this second half of play. Montclair inbounding. Giles pressured in the backcourt. Throws it off to Dwayne Jones. Ahead it goes to Brown. Osborne loses control. Backs it out with 2:15 on the clock. Well, Montclair's waited for this one for a long time.
Well, I would say they have it now, Bruce.
People have said that this is not a club that wins the big one. They've even sometimes used the word choke. Well, you can throw all that stuff out the window today. They proved it. They proved it in the tournament where they were seeded first. They won every game convincingly. And they're playing with great poise again right now, just eating up the clock and not running up the score. And Curtis Richwood jams it home.
Beautiful play. Beautiful play. They did it all. They moved it. All five guys touched the ball. And they get, watch this. Watch this. They find Ridgewood open, and he gives them the dunk. And they are holding up the one that they are #1, and they've won it now.
Well, there's no doubt about it. With 1:32 to go, Montclair leads 71-46. And this was a tournament in which they were not to be denied. And so after this, we will focus our attention to the state tournament. We will have some games for you on TV3. We will keep you posted as to exactly what games they are. So stay tuned to TV3 for comprehensive coverage of the state high school basketball tournament. We'll keep you posted as to the games we will be doing. Montclair with a lot of players scoring today, but getting most of those points from Curtis Richwood. Strong game from Darryl Giles. Great floor game from Dwayne Jones.
I think Montclair has a complete new five in there.
5 new players in for the Mounties.
I don't know. They're leaving Darryl Jones in, aren't they?
Darryl Giles?
Darryl Giles.
Yes, Giles remains in the game. And into the ball game for Montclair, a new group of players. Paul DeMuro checking in. Bill Potts stays in the ball game. Also in there is William Griffin. So Montclair getting some players with an opportunity to perform with just a couple of seconds left to go. Minute 17 exactly. Pretty play. And another basket. Montclair continues to add to their total and do it in convincing fashion.
That was a pretty play.
Sean Morton makes the basket.
He tapped it over, and here goes Sean Norton to the bucket and goes up for the easy layup.
And he was really hammered on that one. Now Darryl Giles comes out. And into the ballgame for Shabazz comes Kelvin Smith. It's academic now, minute 12 to go.
Almost a 30-point game, 27 points.
Montclair's coaching staff, Luther Bowen, Mike Randall, Kenny Moss, and Coach Bob Lester. Very happy to say the least.
A lot of East Orange names there that have moved up to Montclair. Both Kenny Moss and Luther Bowen played for East Orange High School during my tenure at Scott, and of course Bobby Lester coached over there.
There's your score with a minute 10 to play. Long jumper by Buck Parker, no good. Rebound handled by DeMuro. Lead pass to Griffin, and William Griffin lays it up, no good. Ball batted around. Bulldogs still looking to score. Much to Shabazz's credit, they played their hearts out in the second half.
Never gave up.
And Robert King should be very proud of his players. Racehorse ball out of bounds with 41 seconds left. And Bob King wants a timeout to organize things just a bit.
Probably to get whatever players have not been in the game, and let everybody at least say they have played in a Essex County tournament final.
So you look back over the past couple of years in the ECT. Last year, of course, champion East Orange defeating the Shabazz Club 64-50. Back in 80, Weequahic 62-48 over Valley. 78 and 79 consecutive wins for Valley over Orange and Shabazz, and in 77, Bloomfield losing to East Orange. Bob Lester winning his 30th ECT today and his 5th ECT championship.
You could say in the last decade he's dominated the tournament.
Certainly has. Bob Lester won the ECT in 74, 75, 76, and 77. Spent 2 years down in Atlantic City, and now in his 3rd season back in his native Essex County, he has done it again.
Bobby comes from Central High School, played for another legendary coach, Matt Lombardi.
30 seconds left. Long bomb by Donnie Fuller, kicks around underneath. Ball still loose, controlled by Griffin. He plays it off to Philpott. Philpott threw it away. Intercepted by Danny Price, who drives, lays it up, no good. 10 seconds left in the game, and a foul call in the backcourt. So Sean Morton will go back to the line for 1-1.
Sean's already in the box score, and he has a chance to add a couple here.
Well, after the ball game, we'll speak to some outstanding players from Montclair and hopefully to Coach Bob Lester. Morton hits the free throw, has one more coming. Seconds left, and that is all she wrote. The 1982 Essex County Tournament champion, the Montclair Mounties. Final score, Montclair 75, Shabazz 46, and the Mounties have won the ECT for the first time since 1954. We'll be back with the post-game show and a wrap-up in just a moment. Score 75-46. Montclair wins their first ECT since 1954. Curtis Richwood, the high scorer in the ball game, is to my left. And Curtis, how does it feel?
Feels good. You know, we worked hard for it, and we felt that it was ours. We just took it.
You came out in that second quarter, you outscored the club 19-0. Did you feel that was the ball game right there?
Well, the first half, we blew them out the first half, right? So the third quarter, we just said we'll come out and we'll let them come to us. So we didn't even have to score. We just let them come to us. In fourth quarter, we just took it away. In the third quarter, it just came. We ran 56 and we got the ball. We got the ball inside, just scored. Came down, played defense. Fourth quarter, we just took it away. We just played with him.
Jones was able to get you a lot of nice passes.
Yeah, Pine, he's good for assists. So that's what we're a good team. We balance out. Pine comes down, do his job, I do my job. He gets the ball inside. I score, we go back. When he gets the ball, whoever's inside.
Congratulations, great win.
Thank you.
Curtis Richwood, high scorer in the ball game. Darryl Giles finished the game with 15 points. And D, I know you've been through a lot at Montclair in 3 years and never really had a championship. You've got one now, and nobody can ever take that away from you.
That's very true. I've worked very hard for this for 3 years. That was my 3rd year of varsity. We came here 2 years and we've been stunned in the semifinals the last 2 years. So this year, this is sweet, very sweet to have this. It's a memory I'll never forget.
Very unselfish club, isn't it? Nobody cares who scores. It's just a matter of how many points this team can get.
Well, Coach Lester's installed that in our minds over the summer. We played over 120 games from the summer on to now. So we all know each other's ways and how we produce on the court. And, team ball is the only way you win the ball game, not individuals.
Is this club peaking right now?
Yes. At first we were a little down because we had played some teams that were not up to par to us. And we came back with the East Orange game, and then we came even more with the West Side game. So we're climbing up, and we're looking forward to the sectionals.
Heard so much about the history of the ECT. How does it feel?
I just happened to read that this morning. It was 1954, 28 years ago. Some of the names don't even remember. There's only one name I remember, like Orby Lewis. I'm going to call him up and see what he has to say about it.
Okay, Darryl, great game. Good luck in the state.
Thank you.
Darryl Giles finished the ball game at 15. And here's the man, Coach Bob Lester, who wins his 5th ECT, his first at Montclair. Took you 3 years to get the Mounties to the top of the county, but you've done it. How does it feel?
Yes, this is the law of the triangle, Bruce. The first 2 years were the 2 points. This year, the triangle came together, and we were county champions, but we're not going to stop here. We're looking forward to the state championship also.
Bob, you've seen a lot of great high school games over the years, and certainly you've had some great clubs, but do you ever remember a team playing as well in one quarter as you played in the second quarter today?
Well, this is my 11th year coaching, Bruce, and never have any of my teams in 11 years shut out any basketball team in a quarter. And to do it against a great team like Shabazz, it's magnificent. But we were really psyched up, pumped up, and we made the supreme sacrifice today.
Everybody talks about your offense. I thought your defense today was better than anything else.
We play, we practice a lot on our defense. We are an offensive team. We can score when we want to, but we can also play the good defense when we want to. And tonight, or this afternoon, it was very evident.
In the middle of the season, you had the one incident at Plainfield, yet the club has put that behind you. You've almost used that as a bouncing point to make things go your way for the rest of the season. And I guess if you've learned a lesson from it, the whole team that is, then you've really learned something very important, and this club seems ready to go the rest of the way.
No question, Bruce. I learned a hell of a lesson. I think my team learned a lesson, and it all came together today with the county championship. We really put it together after the little adversity we had, and I'm very proud of the young men.
One final question. You've won 4 before. How would you compare this one?
It hasn't set in yet, Bruce. I'll tell you later.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Bob Lester, the winning coach of the Montclair Mounties, to win their first ECT since 1954. Eddie, your final thoughts?
Well, I could just tell by the intensity. I didn't hear what Bob's saying. It's a great thrill. It must be a great thrill to win it 5 times. I only won it once, and I know it was a thrill, and it's a great thrill for the kids, and there's just something about the county tournament.
So for the first time since 1954, Montclair wins the ECT. They win the 1982 ECT behind some great play from Curtis Richwood, Darryl Giles, and just a great defensive team performance. For the Coach Ed Lions, Bruce Beck saying goodbye from Walsh Auditorium in South Orange.